Hello, everybody, and a pleasant good evening. My name is Tom Snapley. With me is my co-host Hillary Gooding, and this is On the Couch.
With us today is the Vice President, Kurt Biedling, of the Cinema Workshop Club. He's here to discuss the club and some exciting events coming up. So, Kurt, could you tell us about the club?
We are Cinema Workshop. We are Rowan University's film club on campus. We've been around for 37, 38 years. We're open to any major, and we do everything from talk about movies, to make movies, to learn how to make movies, and all that fun jazz that comes with it.
Okay, so if I wanted to join Cinema Workshop, where and when are your meetings?
We meet every Thursday at 9:15 p.m. in King Auditorium, aka Boz Auditorium.
So who's this club for? Like, do I have to be a filmmaker, or what if I'm just into the on-screen part of things?
Okay, this club is for anyone, for on-screen or off-screen. If you're interested in talent, we have many shoots where we're always looking for actresses. I know our treasurer, Jessica Albanese, has an actors archive, which she keeps just a bunch of actors and their resumes and headshots. And that's used for pretty much like smaller festivals and even any film we really do where it's accessible to the directors and the casting directors to look through and see if they are interested in having them on the set. It's also available to anyone interested in off scenes, whether you're interested more into the tech-wise or the business, pretty much like producers, if you're more into managing, or you can be a camera operator, or interested in audio, we have audio, or interested in post-production, we have like everything from sound design to even color grading, so we have a wide spread. We try to keep it nice and as close to the industry as possible.
Now, you mentioned festivals. You just had a film festival that happened last week. Could you explain to us about that?
Yeah, definitely. The festival we had last week was the 1 Minute Film. Pretty much it's our nice segue into the semester in which each group does a 1 minute film. There can be no production sound, so gives the group a little bit of a break without having to worry about boom mopping and all the audio. So it's a nice, easy shoot we look to do. And pretty much every group, depending on how the e-board member runs it, does a 1 minute script, which is only like one page. It can be any genre, anything they want, and depending on the group, they can have the members write it, or if they want the e-board to write it, whatever they want to do. So it's completely open to the members, and then they can pick the positions they want. And it's really more of a hands-on kind of experience so they can get their feet wet.
Well, we heard you guys have another one coming up, too. Could you tell us about that festival?
What we have coming up is, it's called, I don't know if we have an official name yet. It's like a Movie Scene Fest or Scene Fest. What that is we have pretty much the groups have to do a movie scene. So it can be any scene they want, and it's up to them if they want to do the scene shot for shot, act for act, same delivery as the actors, or if they want to put their own spin on it. So we, at least in my years of experience, this is the first time we've done this, so I don't know how it's going to go. Might go well, might go awful. We'll see how the members take it, but that's what we're doing this year, so I'm pretty excited to see how everything turns out.
So with the festival that just came up with the 1 minute, this one's longer. What do you find is more difficult, having something shorter without sound, or longer that you have to have more things that revolve around?
I would definitely say longer, because usually when they're longer, they involve more locations. As for the Scene Fest, it's only a scene, so it'll be contained in one location. But usually when they're longer, there's more locations, so there's more you have to worry about. Is talent available? The shoot's longer, so you have to worry about, feeding the crew, which is essential. Motivation of your crew is definitely a key asset in making a good film. So there's a lot of things that come up to, mainly the biggest issue, and I'm sure other clubs have this when they do long events, is availability of the people involved. We are students here, so there's people with classes, jobs, so the longer it is, the harder it is to make sure everyone can commit to the whole thing.
These projects sound really cool and interesting, but if I wanted to join the club and I really didn't know how to shoot a movie or anything about it, would I learn when I was there, or would I have a hard time? You would
definitely learn while you were there. One of the things we do is every Friday we do a workshop. We try to pretty much have a diverse palette. And what that is we look at an aspect of filmmaking, whether it's camera work, sound, boom opping, sound mixing, casting, production managing, first assistant directing. We go over every position you could imagine. And pretty much what we do is describe what that position's responsibilities are, what to expect, your role in that, and what's the process for it. We make sure to link people or make people aware of the documents you may need for that. Like if you're a production manager, you're going to want location release forms, actor releases. Our goal for there is to have people go to the workshop, maybe knowing a lot about a position or knowing nothing at all, but coming out of the workshop and saying, I can totally take on this position. And one of the things we do too, have accessible, is on our website, we have in production documents, you search the department you're interested in, and we have all documents there accessible to them, so they don't have to scramble to find a location release form online. And it pretty much goes over the exact process of what they would be doing on set. This way they're not going into something completely in the dark.
Now, you said you do different genres of movies. What have you done so far, and what kind of do you plan to do in the future in future projects?
I know what we've done so far. I know at least for the smaller festivals, usually we have bigger projects later in the spring semester, in my experience. I know for the smaller festivals, people like to do comedy. It's light, it's a very relaxed shoot. Not saying that's not professional, but it's just more relaxing and fun to do. I know, though, in my years, we've slowly been starting to gear towards dramas, which I personally am rooting for, oh yeah, just because it's a different change of pace, and it's nice to see college students do dramas, just because from at least a lot of what I've seen out there is a lot of comedies. So it's just a nice change of pace. One of the things I would love for us to do is a horror. I think in my years we've never done a horror.
Wow.
So that would be really awesome for us to do. But I definitely say comedy is what we lean for, but honestly it all depends on the members we have. Some years maybe they'll be interested in comedy, others years maybe, drama's good, It all depends on what the big interest between them is.
What's your favorite project that you've worked on since you've been in the club?
My favorite project that I've worked on, last spring semester we did the big project. It was a movie I wrote and pitched and then even directed, which I was surprised. I was what? It was called Lawn of the Year. We shot that in April. It was definitely one of the bigger CW shoots, at least in my experience. The budget for that was, I believe, $3,000 or $3,500, which doesn't seem like much, but for a club whose budget's $14,000 and you have to facilitate things for equipment and other productions, it was really big. We had a huge crew for that. We even had a SAG actor, which I was really excited to have, who did a phenomenal job. And what happened was we shot a weekend in April. It was right after the telethon. It was the most stressful weekend of my life, but it was absolutely, I'm so happy with the product. It's in post-production now. The only thing we're going over is just sound design for the last 2 montages. And just to give you a little snippet of the movie, it's about pretty much a neighbor, or everyday man whose wife is a nagging B-word, to say the least, and pretty much he's tormented by his wife and his neighbors off their success, so he finds an opportunity to finally prove to them that he's worth something.
All right, Kurt, don't mean to cut you off, but that sounds fantastic.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Oh,
We're looking
no
forward to
problem.
that in post-production, and when it comes out, stay tuned for more On the Couch.